Hey, how's it going? I am the Sanguiem, and welcome back to Create Above and Beyond. So last episode, we worked on the bee farm and potato farm. And now we have lots of money coming in for a future project. And we're starting down here because I just remembered I have this map here. Let's update that. There we go. So now we have the farm on the map there. And at some point we gotta run around and fill out all these other maps. I guess we don't gotta, but I think it'd be nice to have a big old map on the wall. So today's the day that we're gonna go into the Invar Factory. I'll give you a look around and everything. This will be your first time seeing the interior of this factory. So here it is. The way down. Now we could, I assume, jump in and just walk down, but you know, we could just call the lift. Look at that. Here it comes. It's slow for dramatic effect. So then we hop on in. Close the doors here. Push the forward button, and we head on down. I love this part. I'm definitely gonna have to speed it up in the future, but the slow descent just feels so dramatic. Look at this. Ooh, the echo. Doesn't this place feel ominous? Here's the main hub. You got these strange looking trees. You got these vents to the surface. You remember seeing the vents, right? And then we have several pathways, several catwalks that head off to these rooms. And each of these rooms deal with, you know, a different type of production. Now, I haven't decided fully on what kind of... Uh-oh. Alright, so this place isn't 100% mob-proof, but I figured we could work on that, because the catwalks are lit up via lights underneath of the catwalk, but these parts aren't really lit up all that much. How the hell did you get behind me? Where did you even come from? There's nowhere to hide. Anyway, yeah, here's a room right here. It just goes down into darkness. And then over there you have some track, and all the rooms are connected via this track. Now what you're wondering, what is that track? Like you saw it over there too, didn't you? Yeah. There's that track over there. Well, if we go this direction, you'll see in here, there's this platform up here, and you'll notice I died at one point. Oh, and there's a grass block down there. Endermen can be really annoying. But, yeah, there's that platform up there. I have it set up there so that if you have a specific frequency set up on a controller and push a button, it will send this platform in this direction to the next room. That next room being right here. Some of these rooms, as you can see, are bigger than others. The corner rooms are bigger than the, like the side rooms. But yeah, it'll come on in here, stop there, and then if you push the button again, it will just continue to the next room. And it will continue until it gets to that corner, and then it will move to that room, and just go in a big circle. Now, why do we have this? Well, I think I mentioned before, I had this cool idea. What if we had just a set of arms that went around from room to room to collect things or make small modifications? So that way we don't have to go to each individual room. We can just tell the arms to do stuff for us. They can go to one room, collect some stuff, and bring it to another. We could have like a mob chamber room, and if we want to swap out the spawn cage that's being used, we can send it over there and have a big old slime sticker arm to pick it up and put it away. That kind of stuff. It's going to be really, really complicated, though, because every time it stops, it'll need a power source to be connected to it so that it can move. And it's challenging. It's challenging to come up with how to make this work. Like, you would end up having to have some arms not move unless they were in certain rooms and stuff. Like, I'll have to think about how to integrate it. But the template is here. Like, we can do something with it. At some point. It's nighttime out right now. You can tell because the vents are blue. Oh, and this lever? It does nothing. Be cool if it did something, though. And this room is directly beneath the farm. So, when it comes time to do the silver and Invar ingot stuff, we can grab the silver from right above in the farm and bring it straight down here if we can't do it through ender chest means. I bet you're wondering, Andrew, this looks really, like, unnecessary, having all these pads like this. Like, why not just have a straight, like, connection to all of this stuff? And why does the floor just need to go down and down and down? Well, I want to discourage me running around in this place as much as possible, so that I want all the rooms to be able to do things separately. Anything that creates any product whatsoever, I want it to send it to a storage system of some kind. I'm considering making this middle room the hub, so that way, like, this is where you do all the controlling and stuff. The thing comes through here as well, the platform. Yeah, you just come in here, look at stuff, and then maybe you have a big old monitor that tells you what the thing's doing. Because I kind of want this thing to work like a stack. Like a room, if it needs the arms for some reason, can request the arm system to stop by the room. And once it's done all of its other tasks, it will see, oh, this room needs me. So it'll run over and do what it needs to do. Like, this thing is supposed to be really complicated. I don't even know if I can pull it off. It might just end up being a set piece decoration that does nothing. But I'm gonna try. I've never made anything that advanced before. That stupid block. Because of that grass block, I have installed a data pack that prevents Enderman griefing. So, Enderman can no longer pick up blocks, so that stuff like that doesn't happen. Because that's supposed to be glass down there. Nothing can spawn down there because it's all glass blocks. If there's one grass block down there, guess what? Things are gonna spawn. Alright, so let me just take this. And by the way, I forgot to mention, last episode I made an extra Emperor's Chalice. Thought it'd be easier to fill up the potato tower. But yeah, what you see here is a layer of black stained glass with a layer of black concrete underneath. And the walls, of course, are made up of gray concrete. Which is why I needed so much gray concrete. As for these trees, there's really no point to them. I just thought it would look kind of mysterious. This big underground facility. And it just has these artificial trees made of metal. With these weird things hanging down. So yeah, what do you guys think? It took me a while to design it and build it. And, yeah, get all the parts for it. The cannon did a bulk of the work, though. However, you gotta remember, that cannon cannot place fairy lights very well. So, all of the colored fairy lights, which all of them beneath these catwalks are blue, I had to put in by hand. Same with a bunch of lights up there, on top of those, to prevent spawning. Same with all the lights down here. Like, this place... You will not see a lot of mobs. That creeper only appeared because it was in that doorway where it's dark. And if we ever want to return to the surface, we can just push this button here and it sends us back up. And we can call this lift using that button down there. Or the button up there. So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff down there, and that's why I'm considering kinda upgrading the automation at the Andesite Village. Just because, you know, if I'm going to be spending so much time down there, I can't be spending tons upon tons of time going up and down, up and down, up and down this lift. Because while that lift is cool, it's going to take some time to get around. Alright, so what are we doing anyway? Let's have a look-see. Let's look at Catharsis. Working towards a passive supply of radiant induction coils, you'll be sure to encounter some new and unfamiliar tasks. Once again, it's time to grab the wrench, restock the toolbox, and clear out a new plot. Happy clearing. Did that. So now, we need sticks, cobblestone, and sand. Sand will be required to build the explosives needed for the reactor. Thankfully, new standards have allowed you access to crushing wheels, making sand production a lot less of a nuisance. I agree with that, because, yeah, we needed a lot of sand to make all that concrete, and that machine to make sand was not that big. Now, sticks. For this next trick is a supply of wooden sticks is required. Whether that calls for a new harvester or just a scheduled shipment from Contraption 1 is up to you. Alright, so here's the thing about that. We have so many sticks being made here that the only thing I can really do with them is throw them out to despawn. Because this is our stick supply. Like, totally full. So hypothetically, we could ship the sticks from here instead of making more, but I mean, you know how far away? Here. We're here. This whole square is the whole factory, and I'm thinking about making the first step of the production process over here in this big long room. So, I mean, that's quite a long ways we would have to make that travel. And I don't really want to do that. Not to mention power. That's another thing too, power. Originally I thought about maybe sending power from here down to there, but I'm not so sure anymore. Take a look at this. With all of the operations at the farm, we are now at 50% capacity. Well, 55% to be more precise. And while I'm sure we can power a lot of the equipment... why is that full? There's no seeds on this belt. I'm guessing the seeds somehow got destroyed. It must have been recent too, because this stuff is working to refill this. So I guess I gotta make another seed. I'm glad I looked at that. I need to make another seed, apparently. You know what? Let's do nether quartz crystals this time. Why not? Alright. That works. I'm glad I looked at that. Jeez. I don't know where that went. It must have been like a sorting issue, and that brass tunnel must have let all of the finished quartz go without making a new seed. Now, what was I talking about before that happened? Power. That's it. Power. So, we could totally send power down there, but I don't know how much we're gonna need, because you saw all those rooms down there, right? We're gonna have a lot of machines down there, and I'm not sure if this could support everything. I've considered, instead of using power from here for the Invar Factory, what if instead I just done away with all the water wheels over there, and I just remake a lot of these contraptions over here. Well, not like remake, but restructure. Because I do want to make them more optimized, but I don't know. Decisions. So, here's what I'm thinking. There's going to be a reactor. The reactor. Here comes the central feature of this factory. The reactor. Progressing towards inductive coils requires a controlled explosion, where nearby singularities and ender dust are combined. See if you can come up with a circuit to continuously blow up these dropped item stacks. No, ender dust and singularities are consumed in a 1-to-1 ratio. They do not have to be in the exact same location. One TNT can transform multiple sets of ingredients. The results will drop at the location of the singularity item. The point is, there's going to be a room dedicated to controlled explosions. And if we were to make another tree farm, for the sake of sticks, we don't have to use up all the logs for sticks. What if we turn some of that into charcoal? What if we have yet another set of flywheels, but this time we burn wood into charcoal? The problem with that is, you know how we use smokers in the brass building to power everything? And you know how it's currently at 50% capacity? Well, smokers and blast furnaces double the output of energy, so that might say 55%, but if we had used normal furnaces, like, we would have hit the stress limit already. So, That's why I didn't want to use charcoal in the big brass building. I wanted to use kelp, since you can smoke kelp. Realistically, it would just be better to make another kelp farm somewhere. I'm thinking about putting in this room, and what we can do is we can have all of the steps prior up to the inception, which is creating the singularity, by crushing a crushing wheel and a crushing wheel. We do all of that and the TNT production and all that, and the production of slimy ferns and everything. We could do all of that in that big room over there. And then send the singularity stuff over here to be turned into, what do they call it again? And quantum entangled singularity. And then we could do the remainder of the stuff after the reactor in here, where we have the chromatic singularity, draining it, and then we have beacons over here too. We could have, and then we'll have these be shipped to the main room where we can see it be turned into inductive mechanisms with our own eyes, since this will be the only room we really need to go in. So that's like my thought process for this. And then we have the entire southern wing. We have 3 rooms where we can do anything else in that doesn't involve inductive mechanisms. Like, for example, we could use this room over here specifically for obtruse mechanisms, maybe. Although, I think I would probably prefer this middle room, since it's next to where we would undoubtedly make the silver, which is over there. And the Invar as well. Because I want to also reserve a room, which will likely be that one, for trying out that whole collect all the metals by putting them in the foundry over and over again. See what I can do about that. But anyway, yeah, that's the plan. So, this plan, of course, starts out with this room over here. So we're going to be doing a lot of work in this room in the next few episodes. Although we would probably have to start with this room right here. Try to figure out how to set up some kind of flywheel contraption in the pit. And then what I'm thinking is we hide all of that in a pillar of some kind. Kind of like what we got going on over here with these pillars. I think we hide the flywheel contraptions inside of a pillar, bring it up to here, and then we have this big old display where we can do the reactor stuff. So, oddly enough, we're going to start with the reactor. It is the central feature, after all, so why don't we start off with it? Now, I don't really have any idea on how to do this, so I think I'm going to do this in the form of a time-lapse and figure out where everything goes and all that, and build everything by hand. It's going to take a lot of trial and error, and I'm sure you're just going to want to see some tidbits of the journey along with the final product, so that's what I'm going to give you. Yeah, let's just jump into it. So the first thing I do is something I should have done a long time ago, which is make a sewing table. Now the sewing table allows me to make backpacks, which are like early game shulkers. Using that table, I made myself a large pocket and a red backpack. It has enough space to hold a chest of items, so 27 things. And this will make it a lot easier to bring items to the Invar Factory without having to make a million trips. I then ran around for like an hour trying to craft and collect all the materials I needed to make the reactor, ranging from the flywheel to a bunch of plating blocks. Once I was finished, I drank a night vision potion and started a time lapse. The reactor is built with 4 flywheels in the bottom and an explosion chamber in the top. Fortunately, TNT cannot damage blocks for some reason. Now, there are still a few things the cannon cannot do, like set filters and place water, so I gotta do things like make quantum entanglement singularities for a vacuumulator in the reactor, and fill up the Kelp Farm that will be fueling the flywheels. Alright, so here we are, in the furnace. Fully built now. And I figured I'd go ahead and show you me turning it on, jump-starting it and all that. And from this point forward, it should just be able to, Oh, I just realized. There are no filters on these. Okay, there we go, that should do it. Gunpowder's never gonna come through here. Well, let's make it baked potatoes, just to be absolutely safe, because I don't know if you guys realized this, But there's a giant cave here, so I guess it's not entirely impossible for a creeper to somehow die on this belt. You know, somehow. So we have a kelp farm here. It's gonna put the kelp on the belt, come in here, and this furnace is built very similarly to the one at the big brass building, so I'm sure I don't need to tell you how it works. So let's just go ahead and jumpstart it. I'm going to give this one a single piece of charcoal, and then with the flick of the hand, it should be on. And now, kelp will go to the other furnaces. That one's on now. Okay. That one's on. There we go. I think this thing is just about jump-started. I gotta get another retrieval module for this. I forgot about that. But hey, now we have kelp being delivered. There is only one small issue. And that is excess kelp. I don't know what to do with excess kelp. I could put a stockpile switch on this barrel and make it so that way if it's too high, maybe there's like a hopper or something, like a chute that's unlocked underneath of it that sends it all to a nullifier, because we're not going to need bone meal. We're going to have a machine for that. Now, I bet y'all are wondering what this room is for. This is the reactor. Now, I know we're a little bit ahead of schedule here for that one, but this is the Reactor, Contraption 24. Progressing towards inductive coils requires a controlled explosion where nearby singularities and ender dust are combined. See if you can come up with a circuit to continuously blow up these dropped item stacks. Alright, well, that is a dispenser that will be holding TNT. These are both chutes looking down vented ducts that will drop 16 singularities and 16 ender dust at the same time. And only that, like, it will send it will cut off the pulse for those chutes for only a moment, so that it doesn't, like, just spew contents everywhere. They will land here, the TNT will drop, blow up, it will all be turned into quantum entanglements, and then there's a vacuumulator underneath of this platform that will collect it. And at the same time of the explosion, I went ahead and made it so that way these blue lamps here go off. Like, just let out a flash as soon as the explosion goes off. So give it more of a reactor feel, I guess. Alright, so what y'all think? It's nothing really special, and you can tell it looks an awful lot like the style I went with to make the furnace in the big brass building. But I figured it's gonna look similar, so why not? And I don't know. I just think it looks good. I especially like the inclusion of the factory columns here. Give it a little bit more of a brighter accent compared to all the darker blocks surrounding it. I still need to light it up a bit though, because mobs will most certainly spawn in those corners. At first I thought I would cover it with string, but in my testing world I discovered that string does not actually work. Things still spawned on it anyway. I think carpet might also work, but I don't want to cover this thing with carpet. And I want to keep the room dark, like the room's dark, for ominous reasons. Like, I just love how this factory has this sense of like depth and scale, and you kind of lose some of that if you can see the bottom of the room or the featureless walls. Next, I gotta figure out what exactly I'm gonna do with a floor situation here. I'm thinking a platform that you could come out and observe the reactor from. And that platform can kind of reach the wall over there, maybe. Maybe we can even have an on-off switch here, like just for emergency purposes. And we might even be able to incorporate the arm to come over with a load of gunpowder, or no, not gun, with a load of TNT, singularities, and ender dust to load into the top here, and then it can just pick up the quantum entanglements and bring them over to the next room. A bit counterintuitive, though, that the the platform moves in the opposite direction. So it would have to go here, it would have to go to that room, pick up the supplies, make a full circle around, stop here, deliver the supplies, pick up quantum entanglement, and then do another spin around to get to that room. I don't know, I've still got a lot to think about on this. So I'm going to quickly do the floor here and see what I can make of it. So be right back. Alright, so this is the platform. What do you think? We have enough space here to put like any contraptions here that we want to do. Like maybe we could have some belts here that the TNT and ender dust and all that can come through and then be brought over to the reactor. Stuff like that. Like we can do that. There's a wall here now. I don't like how flush the wall is with that pillar, but it's incredibly rare that you're going to look at it from this angle, so I'm just going to say that's fine. But yeah, this wall, it's hollow, so I have lots of space here if I need to do anything in here. There's lights under that catwalk there. The same type of lights are underneath all the other catwalks. I did just now realize, though, that I forgot that, so I gotta go get that. Okay, here it is. Low retrieval. Dried kelp. However, it is redstone activated and won't turn on unless this stockpile switch is basically full. Like, it just sees that the barrel is full. And then it won't shut off until, like, 90% of it. Until 10% of it is empty. Now, there is one other thing I'm not happy with, and that is this barrel right here. If it fills, then that means the kelp collector will fill. And if the kelp collector fills, it will cut kelp blocks and just leave a bunch of items floating around in the water. And we don't want that, because that'll create lag. And this place is already big enough. It's probably going to cause a lot of lag by itself. We don't need anything extra doing the same thing. So, real quick, before we end the episode, I figure let's just go ahead and make something for this. It'll require a nullifier, a stockpile switch, and maybe a smart chute. Okay. Signal's inverted. So here's what I got. I got a red alloy wire here. Okay, it's staying in there. And supposedly when it's filled, this will turn off, and you'll see if we invert the signal, it's gone, because what's in there just dropped into the nullifier. And then once enough has dropped in, it'll stop. Okay, that should help greatly. So that way, if there's excess, we don't have to worry about it. There's one problem, though. This is right on a chunk border, which means I'm gonna have to claim this. Okay, we should be now completely done with this furnace stuff now. This vacuumulator is holding 2 quantum entangled singularities because of the test I did earlier. Plus, I needed the very item to put it in the filter. Although, in retrospect, could I have, Nope, okay. I can't drag the item from the JEI to here. Alright, so I did need the item itself. Alright, let's shut this off for now, then. Now, we have a furnace running, but we don't actually have it connected to anything. Now we can bring that power over to here and do something with this room. So next episode, we're going to focus on making a floor in here, or kind of coming up with a layout of some sort. Because we need a tree farm, a sand farm, we need cobblestone, like we need something that makes crushing wheels. We need all 3 of the fern things in here too. Like we gotta fit a lot of contraptions in here. So we'll get to planning on that for the next episode. So thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, consider subscribing. And remember, the Wasteland is watching. See ya.